Hey everybody, Randy Patterson here with Boomerocity. As you already know, we love the blues here at Boomerocity, and I always love talking to blues artists, and I especially love talking to the women artists of the genre because I feel like a lot of times they're so underappreciated and underacknowledged, and they're phenomenal. So one of those people that have been on my list for a very long time, and I've always wanted to interview her, is this lady you see in the photos behind me, Sue Foley. She is phenomenal, and she's got a great new acoustic album out called One Guitar Woman, and it is amazing. If you love just great acoustic music, some blues, some flamenco, some country, this is your album for you. And this chat I got to have with her was mostly about the album and the tour that's supporting it, but we talked about a few other things too. And it was just a delight to finally be able to talk to Sue. I think you guys are going to love this chat. If you know others who love music, please send the link to this interview to your friends and let them know about us there. So anyway, I hope that you enjoy this interview, that you share it, that you like the channel that you're, and this particular episode that you're listening to. And if you're listening on watching on YouTube, please subscribe because we really would love to have your support there. So without any further ado, here is my first of what I hope are many more interviews to come with blues great Sue Foley. Until next time, this is Randy Patterson with Boomerocity. Take care. Anyway, thank you for joining. I've been a fan of yours for a long time. I've wanted to talk to you for a long time, and now it's finally happened,
Here
Karen.
we are.
So, but by the way, how long have you lived in Austin?
I first moved here in 1990, so I was here for almost 10 years then, and then gone for 20 years, and I've been back for about 6.
Cool, very
So
cool. So I'm
off and
curious.
on for 30 years.
Wow. So I
Mhm.
love your work. Followed you for a while, and I love how you just are how you honor the blues. And I'm a big blues fan. I don't have an encyclopedic knowledge, but I know what I like when I hear it, and I love hearing you play. And I love seeing the women that have really started making inroads into this over the years. And by the way, have you ever played or talked to Rory Block at all?
Yeah, I've interviewed Roy Block. I've known her for a number of years. She's great. One of my favorites.
Oh yeah, yeah. I got to meet her a couple years ago, and wonderful lady. And talking about encyclopedic knowledge. Wow. So, and one more trivia
Encyclopedic.
question here before we get to this tour and album. The Pink Paisley.
Yeah.
What's your? I mean, I've seen other artists that play similar looking guitars. I'm just wondering if any previous artists inspired you towards that, or was there something just one on one about that guitar? What's your story about the Pink Paisley?
The pink paisley I got when I was about 20 years old, and I was a blues player already, and I wanted to be a Telecaster player, specifically after seeing Albert Collins,
Hmm.
the master of the Telecaster. And at the time, everybody was buying Strats, so I didn't want to be like everybody else and get a Strat and sound like everyone else. So I saw Albert Collins live, and I was like, I'm going to play Telly. And then I saw the Paisleys; they just reissued them in the late '80s. And they're Japanese. They were Japanese, and I saw one, and I'd never seen one in person. They had just reissued them, and I was like, sort of. I always say it was my Wayne's World moment, like "You will be mine." I love, like this will be mine. This is my fate. I saw that guitar. I was like, I have to have it. I have to have it. So you know, the rest is history. I got it. I still play the same one.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I still play the same one from God, 88 or whatever I got it in. So
How many guitars do you have?
I don't have a ton of guitars. Like, one, two, three sitting over there. Mostly I play my nylon string that's on the cover of
Mhm,
that new album that you have in your backdrop.
mhm.
So I mostly play that when I'm at home.
Well, how
And
many go
I've
ahead.
got a few tellies. I've got 3 pink tellies. I got the original. I got 2 others. Um, 2 newer ones that I travel with. And yeah, I don't have a lot. I don't have a ton of guitars. I play them all. I'm not a collector.
Uh,
I'm a player.
Not Joe Bonamassa, huh?
I don't collect, it's obsessive, but a lot of guitarists do collect, and they're good investments too.
Yeah,
They hold their value if you get good ones. So it's not
yeah,
a bad thing. I like to play them. I feel bad if they're sitting around not being played.
yeah. Years ago, another Austonian, Austin resident, Monty Montgomery. He's kind of like a Willie Nelson of guitar players. He just plays the same old acoustic all the time. There's holes all over it and all that. But you get something you like, you just don't want to. And he told me, he goes, "I've got a few guitars, but this is the only one I play."
Yeah, you get a relationship with them. I'm of the Willie camp where you play one guitar and
Yeah,
like my main Pink Paisley Telecaster. I still play it. I still record with it. It's
very
still
cool.
my favorite. So
I could talk to you about all the people around there, but we want to cover this tour and this album. I'm very tempted to mention Jimmy Vaughn because I'm a big fan of his. Went to Stevie's funeral when I used to live in Dallas, but that was
wow.
before I started Boomerocity. But tell me about this tour and what your fans can expect because you've been in this business a while and you've built quite a following, and this is a little bit of a different approach for you, is it not? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but normally it's a band and electric and all that, and now you're kind of doing this acoustic thing, right?
I'm doing both now, so it's a hybrid show. I'm gonna have my band with me
Oh, okay.
when we're in the Chicago area, when we're on tour. Mainly, I like to keep my band with me. I love my band, and I want to keep them working. I want to hang out, and so we released a live album in the fall called Live in Austin. That was it's kind of rocking. It's pretty high energy. It's electric blues. It's on my Telecaster, Fender Telecaster. So I'm really comfortable with that, but I'm also equally comfortable with the acoustic. And I've been studying all these female heroines of guitar, pioneers of guitar styles for the last number of years. So I've got, a lot of that under my belt now. And I've been introducing that into my live show for a while. But with this tour, I'll probably do a little bit more of it just so people can really get an idea of some of the scope of guitar styles that I've been working on and stuff like that. So it'll be acoustic and electric. I haven't exactly figured out am I gonna break it down? So usually what I do is I start electric and then I break it down to acoustic. I could also open acoustic and then end with electric. I haven't quite decided how I'm gonna do all that, but
You
there'll be
do it however
both,
you want,
basically.
and it can all work. So
Yeah, yeah. It's all work. It all works together. It's all me. It's all like what I do, and I've been playing acoustic my whole career.
mhm.
Yeah, it's just not something I haven't. I've only done one other acoustic album, a live album in 2004, but it's something I've always done.
What do you find that fans enjoy most about your acoustic work, whether it's live or on the album?
I think they like learning about the history of women in guitar. I mean, I think there's, first of all, there's an intimacy to playing acoustic and being one on one, like with this album, One Guitar Woman, you definitely feel that. And I felt that when I was recording it. I really wanted to do something kind of pure and immediate and that connects sort of one on one. I think in our age of just being bombarded by stuff all the time, and then, it just our age of basically overwhelmed, you know. When I was recording it, I really imagined I was just singing to one person and thinking, this connection we need to foster these connections, more intimate connections, because in a way we're all connected and then we're disconnected.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of loneliness, I think, and a lot of isolation. So I think the acoustic thing really connects with people personally. It's so kind of soft and intimate.
Mhm.
And then the electric just kind of kicks you in the teeth, makes you want to
That's
dance.
right.
So
Where sometimes we need to be kicked, right? So
yeah, yeah, yeah. You want to do that too. You don't just want to sit and navel gaze. You want to have fun too.
Have you found that, was there any special connection with doing the acoustic work and such during the pandemic? And, as things started opening back up and all that, did you find that there was a special connection there through that? Or what musically, how did you find the pandemic treating you, and then coming out of it, any adjustments, anything new that you're seeing now that you didn't see before it all hit us?
I think, to be honest, I don't think people even want to say the word pandemic anymore.
We're kind of puked out on it, aren't we? So,
I think in so many ways, I know even with myself, it's kind of like, let's just forget about that. I mean, I guess we shouldn't forget about it because it possibly could happen again and we should be ready. But I think it was just kind of like, yeah, let's get over that and let's get back to work
no,
and let's keep moving. And whatever that was, throw
not
in the
let it
garbage.
happen
Let's
again.
not do that again.
So,
Let's never do that again.
for sure, I know the thing for me, I had missed live music even at a local level. Just, and when it lifted, just everybody felt like, coming out of the storm shelters after a tornado. It's just like everybody
Absolutely.
jumping
And what
around.
we discovered was live streaming is not live music. You
No,
know, as much as it's nice that people, oh, no, there's people that can't leave their house and they did and still can't leave their house for whatever reasons and they do still live stream, but it's not to say it's the worst thing. It's just not live music. It's
that's
not
right.
like being in a room with the band, you know.
That's right. Well, the
Yeah.
worst thing I saw, I don't know if you went to any of these or not, but the craziest development I saw was people wanting to do shows at drive-ins and everybody stay in their cars. And I was like, how in the heck is that going to work? Or do we honk our horns to applause or what? Flash our
Yeah.
lights? I never,
We tried everything, let's face
well,
it.
and we all wanted, we didn't want things to stop. So, I applaud the effort, but I didn't see that working at all. But how is this album different for you compared to all the other albums? I mean, you've got such a great catalog of work, and but putting
Thank
this
you.
one together, what was different for you on this one compared to all the others?
Well, this is really specific. It's a specific study of specific people and specific guitar styles. So
Mhm.
it's a study. I mean, I had to work at different styles. I mean, Piedmont finger picking, which I've kind of known how to do for a long time, finger picking stuff, but learning Carter scratch, Maybelle Carter stuff style and even it's stretching into a classical piece or a
Mhm.
flamenco piece. That's completely like a study. That's real specific guitar style. So I think that's what this is all about. Is it's a study in guitar styles and paying tribute to the icons that created these styles, which is pretty cool, or carried them forward or had a big part in them. So and the story that and also sharing, I wrote the liner notes, so that was really fun
Mhm.
to be able to just express what they all these women mean to me. Maybelle Carter, Elizabeth Cotton, Memphis Minnie, of course, um, Sister Rosetta Tharpe, Charo, and Ida Presti. I mean, it's just there are such big figures, and I just really it's just a labor of love in a lot of ways.
What was the biggest surprise you experienced with this album?
Um, I don't know. Surprise. I thought it would be well received. It's being really well received. So that's kind of a surprise. I thought people would like it, but I'm getting overwhelming positive support right now. So that's fantastic.
Very cool. Very cool.
Um, I don't know. It took me almost a decade to get this under my belt. Like, I mean, it did not happen overnight. So it's not like something you can just like, hey, I'm going to do this. And, it's like I had to sit and labor and really work and practice and do what guitar players do. So that's just the humbling aspect of what we do. No
Was
matter what, you stand on stage and you can express something, but people don't realize the hundreds of hours you spent at your table, at this very table I sit at, you know, with like tab or a YouTube video going over like what is she doing? What is that? So it's cool. Like I really like learning, and I'm really happy that after all my time in the music business that I still have new breath of things to do.
well, that's what keeps things fresh, and I think, I'm not a musician. I play mean air guitar, and that's about it, but
Oh,
they but I play a mean one. I challenge anybody on that. But I think as fans, we can sense when an artist can be just kinda mailing it in, kinda bored, and then what I get off on is seeing an artist who may have played the same song or even the same set, countless times, and each time they're acting as if it's the first time they've experienced it, and that's to me, that's, a true professional, but also it's refreshing to a fan to sit there and feel like you're not imposing on them because they have to be there to play those songs. They're having fun too, and we like to see that you know, as a fan, but that to hear you say this about this music and the people that you're honoring through it, I mean, I feel like fans are gonna sense that when you're
I
out there
think
presenting.
so. It's powerful. I
Mhm.
mean, this is a powerful message. These are powerful people. So you're carrying something. I mean, I'm just kind of standing on their shoulders, you know, but there's a lot of weight behind this.
Yeah, there is.
And it didn't come from me. It came from them, and I'm just kind of sharing it.
Mhm. Is there a particular song on this album that you would point to as a calling card for fans or people that maybe haven't heard of you yet? And you say, "Hey, if you like this song, you're really gonna love the rest of the album."
Yeah, I mean, I think the opening track has
Mhm.
has was a really good. That was our first single. It's called "Oh Babe It Ain't No Lie" by Elizabeth Cotton, and I think that one just is really. It's super fun to play. It's got a great. I don't know. It's got really kind of cute, clever lyrics and a great guitar part. And it's kind of soft. It's not super aggressive or anything. I think that's just a great launching pad. So that's why we started the album with that one. And that's a good one where I think it's just very easy to listen to. Like her style is particularly it's so musical, it's so lyrical, it's melodic. So I think it just kind of gets into your ears, and it's
I
so
agree.
I would say that one is a great launching one. So if you like that one, you can keep listening to the album because it goes into different things,
Yeah,
the blues and some country. It tells some stories about, Maybelle Carter and her
yeah,
legacy, which I really am proud of. Not, I'm not proud of her legacy. She should be, her family is, but I'm proud of being able to share it because it's really impressive.
yes, it
It's
is.
really very, very impressive.
Yep. Do you I'm assuming you've tried out some of these songs live on audiences and such. Is there a particular song that you feel like the audience is, like, really giving you the best positive feedback on that especially that maybe feedback you weren't expecting?
Well, the one that always really sends people over the top is if I do when I do Malagueña because everybody loves Malagueña.
Mhm.
It's a really popular guitar piece, but being able to play it and execute it is kind of impressive. So people are always pretty freaked out. But, they love it all. They love it all. They love the stories. And I honestly, the whole album, I play the whole album live. Like I cut it live in the studio. One, you know, voice and guitar at the same time. You can't track this kind of thing. You can't overdub on it. It's got to be done
Right.
spontaneously. So if there's any hiccups in the music on the record, that's because that's the way it goes. You're recording live. But so I do it all live on a show. I got a show on Saturday in Houston, and I'll play the whole album.
Oh, cool. Very cool. I didn't
Yeah,
realize that. That's neat.
yeah, no problem.
Well, I'm hoping to
That's what I
catch
practice for.
So what's on your radar for the rest of the year? You've got this tour coming up. I'm hoping to maybe be able to catch you at your Nashville show. I think that's the one closest to me, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, good. Yeah, that
Okay.
we're going to Chicago, Nashville, Columbus next, like week after next. Madison, Wisconsin, down to Louisiana for some big international fest down in Louisiana. It's gonna be great. Austin Blues Fest at the end of April and May. Got the Blues Music Awards because I'm nominated for 2 awards there.
Yeah.
Um, and going to Atlanta. I'm doing some solo shows, some band shows, mostly band shows. Um, Utah Blues Fest. We got festivals all the way up until the end of the year, really.
Oh, very cool. I may
Yeah.
try if I can't do Nashville, I may try to catch you in Atlanta if my schedule will allow. What else do you want to do musically that you haven't done yet? Are there people you want to play with? Maybe, do a project together with, something like that.
I think there are. I think I'm kind of gonna work on exploring those things next because now that I've got this under my belt, I can kind of move on. And this was just a big this was a big project and kind of moving on from that's gonna be big. But I'd like to work on still incorporating the flamenco guitar into our sound, maybe incorporating a little acoustic electric with the band, some collaborations. So it's kind of like to be continued, but we're always moving on. Once you've finished, it's almost like once an album comes out, you're done with it in a way, because like I did it. Now
Next.
I'll go tour it. Now I'll go tour it. But in your mind, you're thinking, okay, what's next?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's kind of where I'm at right now. Like,
Cool. I
mhm.
always love your music. I always look forward to your new releases, and I look forward to hopefully catching you on, if not this tour, one of the preceding ones. And I've wanted to talk to you forever, so now my short little bucket list has one more check on it.
That's
So
great.
I'm
I'm so
thrilled with it.
happy. Thank you for
Yeah.
having me.
And like I said, I'll send this to Karen. She could forward it over to you. And if you would like maybe a different arrangement of it, I'll be happy to whip one up for you. They're very easy
This
to
is
do.
great.
So
Send it to Karen. I'll
yeah,
try to
well,
get on my Zoom calls next time. I
uh,
keep forgetting to use the backdrop.
it's
So,
to me, I mean, I've got a bookcase full of music oriented books behind me and my autographed albums on the ceiling and all that. People don't want to see that. They want to see the album I'm talking about, the
okay.
artist. So
I love it.
anyway, I'll route that to her, and hopefully I'll see you down the road here pretty soon.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Sue. We'll talk to you next time. Take care. Bye bye.